Welcome back to the worm. It's been raining for like 3 or 4 days. Kind of sucks. A lot of time in the tent. Did a lot of reading and resting, so that was nice. Supposed to start pouring again tonight and through tomorrow, so I got some chores I gotta do. There aren't really chores out here, but I've been meaning to turn these giant dice into some rope swings. You know, it's really important that you do that kind of stuff when the weather's good. And I haven't done any shooting in many months since the winter time. Well, since the winter started. This 22 won't really fire when it's really cold. I don't know if it's using the wrong oil or what. It just doesn't cycle. And I got some logs to mill up for a little project I'm working on. So I'm gonna get the chainsaw mill out, work on that. A couple other things. You guys said you were interested in seeing what goes on day to day out here, so here it is. I don't really need to wear this stuff, but you guys wouldn't recognize me if I didn't have it on, so, you know, for continuity. Man, it's so quiet in between the storms. These things have just been sitting here since I carved them. I don't know if not many of you guys saw the video making these, which just happened to be my favorite video of all of them. This was just that, it was actually that giant log right out here that it's from that huge stump that was right when I moved out here over a year ago. It was laying across there, and oh, this table too was just a couple slabs out of it. Trying to figure out, I had like a 5-foot section just laying there. I thought, well, what could I make out of that? And for whatever reason, dice popped into mind. So carved them up with the chainsaw and gouged them out with a chainsaw bit on a grinder. They've been sitting here. There's this tree, I don't know if you can see it out here, this curved tree, kind of over where the fire pit is. And I'm thinking about, if I have some eyelets big enough, I'm going to put an eyelet in here, a big fat eyelet, and then use that Cajun pole line as a rope and hang it from that tree so you could sit on it as a rope swing. Well, the last of the snow melted yesterday or the day before, and I just killed a mosquito. So that was pretty quick. I got one day with no snow and no mosquitoes, and I was locked in the tent the whole time. I'm not whining, I'm just saying. I'm just pointing out the facts here, alright folks? Well, I got this trailer to replace the last one because the other one had pizza cutter wheels and it was just messing up all the trails. So this thing's been great. I've used it for about a week now. Only problem is yesterday I went out to get groceries, and even just going slow in first gear, the four-wheeler was throwing mud onto all the stuff in here. So just trying to cover this up. I got some scraps from stuff I built, some 1-inch scraps. Got it partially put together last night in between rainstorms, and then had to stop about 6 o'clock because a really big storm came in. So I'm gonna figure out how to attach this on here and then go on to something else. Don't know what. Maybe shooting stuff. I know, you're wondering why I'm not using a chainsaw. It's because they're both down below, tarped up from the rain, whereas working on another project, so this is kind of embarrassing, but This strapping material is always the most inelegant way to do something, but it is handy stuff when you don't have access to a lot of other junk. It'll hold, at least for a while. It's only ugly if you look at it. Well, should keep the mud off my junk, if you know what I mean. Now, if you guys would just put all this stuff away while I go get a snack, I'd appreciate it. Never. You guys never lend a hand. Not once. So this is the fire pit usually used for sitting around. And here's that monster leaning tree. It's got a lot of bend in it. If it was just leaning over and straight, I probably wouldn't use it. It'd be on its way down, but that's clearly been leaning for a very long time because the tree's growing straighter and straighter at the top. So whatever. I mean, it's not like hanging 200 pounds on it, sitting on a swing is going to tear the thing down. And if it does, what a way to go, huh? So I had to go find the pole saw and the ladder. Might as well take the trailer. Usually when I take that extension ladder around, I'm just balancing it on my shoulder while I'm driving the four-wheeler, so it'll be cool to strap it onto this. Gotta love mud season. Don't look up there. Don't. That's for another video. I can tell you guys get confused almost as much as I do, so if you start looking at stuff from a future video, your heads are probably gonna explode, so just keep your eyes down, okay? We're just here for the ladder and pole saw, that's all. Nothing to see. Oh man, so much easier than carrying it on my shoulder. Oh my gosh, I forgot how heavy these things are. I kind of wanted to hang them together as a pair of dice, but I can't figure out how you could actually swing and not knock into the other one or sit on both of them or whatever. So, man, I love this trailer. This is awesome. I know I have a feeling that all the guys watching this video are like, dude, it's just a trailer, calm the hell down. And the women are like, no, honey, I totally get why he loves that trailer so much. Pole saw is a very useful tool, but man, does it make you sweat every time. Holy. Sweating. Sweat right through 2 shirts in a matter of 2 minutes. That's no joke right there. Alright. Guess I'll just put the ladder up there and see how high it'll go. I think that's probably enough. Yep. That'll do. Love this stuff. Now, it says this is 2,500 pound test. So clearly one string should be plenty enough, right? Let's see here. When I can't find my gloves, remind me that they're right there. I think could do the choker on the tree with the mule line, Cajun pole line, whatever you call it, but I think this stuff's a little more abrasive resistant. I think that'll stay. Forgot my gloves. Well, I had to go back up there to cut that off anyway. I'm gonna have to get some bigger eyelets too. This is all I could find, but be all right to just hang it up for a minute, I think. Let's see, what side up? How about 5? 5 would look cool. Well, you think it'll hold? I do. We gotta get a swing going. Oh. Hey, that's not half bad. Now this is how you should spend your time. Every day until it snaps and I break my back and nobody comes and finds me for a year. This is awesome. Great idea, Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. You're a brilliant guy. Yeah, I know. Decided to go with 2 lines. Mostly because you can get, anywhere, and the line would be right here and at the carabiner, or actually probably up there too. And if there are 2 lines, then you can, every now and then you can scoot it a little bit. That worked great. Ah! Oh, I'm gonna puke. Okay, chore number 2 done for the day. Maybe some lunch and then a little shooting. Just, it's a chore, so you gotta, make sure things work. Make sure everything fires right and the targets hit just right. And then maybe a little milling. Check the weather. I think I got about 5 or 6 hours before it's gonna cloud up and start dumping again for about 12 or 15 hours, so back at it. Well, since I have this rare moment of no wind, we got sun, it's warm, no rain, I'm gonna cook up one of my world famous glop soups. Put a whole bunch of stuff in a pot, all sort of Mexican-y, and eat it for the next few days with chips or tortillas or whatever. Cut up some veggies to eat too. Usually put some rice in here too, but it takes too long to cook. I don't want to waste my one good day cooking rice. Lab cheese. refried beans, jalapenos. Can't spell it, but it eats pretty good. Oh man, who bought these little tiny chips? That's no good. Mmm, it might not look good, but it is good. Wow. Oh man, it's nice to have some real food. Instead of just making packets of noodles in between rainstorms. Mmm. Real veggies. Amazing. Summer's on its way. I mean, it's still probably going to snow a couple more feet, but it feels good right now. Tastes good. I just figured it's probably not good to mill stuff in the middle of the day with the sunlight and all. You know what I mean? Well, probably can't even shoot this because apparently the end of the world is upon us and you can't get any ammo anywhere. Luckily I've got 3,000 or 4,000 rounds of 22, so I guess that's what we'll do today. All spring, summer, and fall I was here shooting just about probably 5 days a week. A couple hundred rounds a day of just a 22. And then once it got down around freezing, this gun just doesn't like to shoot. So I haven't shot in, it's probably been 5 months anyway. Went from 5 days a week to 0. Not very cool. So this will be interesting to see see if I can still do it. See if I can still hit anything. Probably not. Last year when I'd come down here and shoot, made up a bunch of different 3 or 4 different things where shoot from a certain distance. You know, you do it on the timer, pull it from your side, or like, you know, 2 shots on the clock at a certain target, or this target, this target, this target, 3 shots, hit them all. I started keeping track of them. The one that I was working on the most, which wasn't, I don't know jack about shooting. I don't know jack about any of this stuff. I just, I've never been afraid to, you know, something sounded fun and just kind of dive into it and see what happens. So I don't know, like with shooting, I don't even know if these are the kind of shooting drills people do, or it just, I mean, it just seemed fun to me, just like chainsaw milling or building stuff. I don't know how to do it. I just kind of make it up. Makes my days go by, makes them really fun. So, but this one, standing at 12 yards, shooting, what is it, like a 4-inch square target from your side with the 22 on the timer. And the best I did was 0.98 seconds. It took me like 3 or 4 months to get it under 1 second. So I'm just going to walk up there right now and just see how close I can get to that. If I can hit anything. I got three mags, so we'll take them up there and see what happens. Alright, this is with no warm-up, no practice. Oh no, it still doesn't want to load. That's a problem. No. Well, it kept jamming, so I might have had another, hopefully it's a different issue. I realized one of the pins was missing out of here, so I just ran up and fashioned a new one out of a roofing nail with the Dremel, which now fits perfectly. It doesn't really take any pressure on there or anything, it's just to hold some other parts in place, so hoping that that pin will work. Nope, it appears not. Appears there's another piece missing. That's what I get for cleaning this stuff on a picnic table outside. That's too bad. I'm sure there's some parts that are unnecessary, but those were not they. Bummer. Well, we can spare a couple of 9mm rounds just for fun. Whew. All sorts of slow. I decided I can spare 10 rounds. Can't tell what I hit. Must be a rock back there. Well, it was fun while the ammo held out. Just gotta order some parts, eh? You know what this means. I gotta go mill lumber. Yeah, still got 3 hours before it gets nasty, so I better get those 2 logs that I got sitting up there ripped up into boards. Work on my project tomorrow after the rain. Might as well fill up some shower buckets before it gets too much muddier back there. We get another inch of rain, it's going to be a disaster. Ooh, stirred it up something awful. That sucks. I'm gonna have to come back out here with the shovel and widen out these trenches I made last year. They're so full of grass and sticks and leaves and stuff. There's not nearly as much flow as there was at the end of the year. For how wet everything is right now, it ought to be rushing. Not the nationality. I mean really moving. Never mind. I use this for bathing water and dishwater. Put a little bit of bleach in it to kill the creepy crawlies, and then as soon as we know it's not going to freeze anymore, I bring the pump out here and run a hose all the way up to my water tanks. Fill it up, put a little bit of bleach in there too, and then I do use this for drinking water too. I just run it through a ceramic filter. It doesn't taste tanniny or metally or anything organic. It just tastes like, it truly tastes like bottled water. I know you wouldn't believe it, but I wouldn't lie to you. 2 buckets is about 3 showers worth. More than enough. Just let it mix and let the particulate stuff sink to the bottom, and then it's poured into here, heated up to 102, and washed over me. These suckers are just starting to rust, which is kind of amazing. They've been sitting outside all year and they're just getting rusty, so put a quick coat of what do I have, 80-90 gear oil on them. Just a thin coat to keep them from getting any worse. You can't skip out on this. You want to see what a day's like out here, you gotta watch the horribly boring stuff too. It's part of the deal. 80-90 wasn't right. I could just tell it wasn't sticking right, you know, so I had to go with... Clearly we needed transmission and differential fluid. Oh yeah, that's the one. That's much better. I'm looking just to mill these 2 cedar logs that I found out in the woods the other day I'd left behind, and save this for something else. That's pine, which is good enough for floorboards, but it's got a lot of bugs right underneath the bark, and some holes going into the other wood, so I don't really want it as the floor of the of the thing I'm making that I can't specify. I just switched out this winch cable from metal to synthetic, and I love it. Man, it's so much easier to use, easier on the hands, better in all ways that I can find. It's going to be an interesting log here. I'll get something good out of it, but I can see there's a little bit of rot there. There's rot in the center, but there's none on the other end, so this probably doesn't go too far into it. However, you know, I'll still get 1, 2, 3, probably 3 or 4 1-inch boards here, and then there'll be some messy stuff and another couple boards on the bottom, so I don't care. I'm gonna mill it anyway. It also has this weird, this might be why I left it before instead of bringing it up here. It's got this weird crook in it, but I'll just have to start the cut a little bit lower here so it doesn't pop out there. It'll all be usable, not all of it, but everything that's not rotten will be usable. And this side, before I drug it up here and got it all muddy, was the wood all looks good. Oh, this one doesn't have very many limbs on it, so maybe it won't be too bad to peel. It's the right season. You don't have to use the draw knife. You can just pry this off on a giant sheet, which saves a lot of time, and you get it all the way down to wood here instead of leaving that inner bark stuck on it. Yeah, look at that. That's fantastic. Some pretty color, huh? Really cool. Unfortunately, that's because it was wet. Sitting on the ground, but that's all right. Man, I kind of hate coming on something that's that pretty. It's, you know, it's not often I mill something with a lump in it. You know, I try to only mill pretty straight logs, but that made some beautiful character in there. And then you get a log like this. I mean, I say I hate it, but I just hate that I'm gonna use it for a floor and just walk all over it. That was gorgeous. Making 1-inch floorboards. Well, we got to the rotten center of it. Looks like it ran into that board, and this one's going to be mostly trash. I've got about 11 different kinds of chains. I think the milling chain video has probably already come out by the time you guys see this, but I tested 5 different types of chains, all for milling, just to see which one did the best side by side. And since I have them all sharpened, I'm using them all up right now. So that was a semi-chisel, just a regular standard semi-chisel chain, 30-degree sharpen that I used there. And now let's see what one's next. Next we have a full chisel sharpened at 0 degrees. See how long that one lasts. You might find it interesting if you're into chainsaw milling. See them all side by side. Well, that was one of the more interesting logs I've milled, just because of the odd shape of it. Ended up with some weird pieces here, but you know, I normally would have stopped at about that one because you can't get a full width log or board out of that. But went ahead and just milled halfway down it, and you know, I cut it off there and still get a 5-foot, whatever that is, 1 by 10 or 12. This is clearly junk, and unfortunately the middle of a couple of these had bad spots, so I don't know, some of it'll get used. I mean, I still use pieces just like that at the end for stuff here and there. I think this one's, yeah, this one's got some rot in the middle of it too, so whatever, it'll work. It's still a good bit of lumber from a short log. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and stack this on the pile and mill up that other log. I won't bore you guys with more watching Ryan mill in the woods. So hopefully knock out this other log pretty quick, and then have some dinner, take a shower, and buckle down for the rain. It's now saying right about dark it's gonna let loose, so I got plenty of time. A couple more hours before it gets dark. Just getting into the about halfway through that second log. It's real pretty color too, really light compared to the other one. Just because I happened to put the chains on just by chance in this order, I came out with exactly the same thing again that I found in that the milling chain video. Here's the non-milling chain that I just sharpened to 0 degrees, and then here's the actual milling chain. It just, I mean, I don't care at all This is fine with me. I don't care what it looks like, but I know some of you guys that are into milling or want to get into milling, if you're trying to make nice stuff and not have to plane the boards way down or sand them way down, I think that full chisel chain at 0 degrees is the way to go. That is a huge difference. Oh man, here's the rain as promised. I gotta hurry and get everything in. Woo, man, barely had time to get everything just chucked in here and out of the rain, but I got that other log done, so whenever this storm passes sometime tomorrow afternoon, hopefully I can go back to working on my other project. But I'm just gonna put my tools away, have a bite to eat, grab a hot shower over there, and read until I fall asleep. So thanks for joining me on another day living out in the woods. Appreciate you guys watching. If you want to see more of it, of course, you can always subscribe. I'll be here. I can't think of any reason I wouldn't. Yeah, I'll be here. Oh, it's a little bit toasty. I'm kind of a 102 kind of guy, but somehow I'll make do.